Hey everybody, welcome on into the Delmarva Sports Insider, your top live and local show dedicated to giving you all local sports right here on the shore. I'm Sports Director Brandon Bossert.
What is up? It is yours truly, sports anchor Devin J. Martin. Welcome into the show, Brandon. We've had a lot of upsets these weeks. It's so beautiful to see real football action here in the Bayside and in the Henlopen.
Yeah, and what a night for some football. Our first rainy Friday of the season, Devin.
Yeah, I know. It's just a whole bunch of weather, and I'm just I'm not too happy about it, but that's real fall sports. You got to get out there, get out in the dirt, in the mud, and in the rain.
Right, exactly. You know what? It was tough for us being out there, but let's bring in the star of the show tonight first to start things off before we get to the highlights. Chief Meteorologist Rich Werdzik is standing by with his first forecast. Rich, take it away.
I don't know, Brandon. Maybe I'm the foil here because we're all the heavy rain and the games tonight, but I can say at least it was nice that, at least for parts of the area, the heaviest of rain did wait until the end of some of the games. I know Brandon and Devin are going to be showing you some wet highlights coming up here in a bit. Look at all of this rain coming in south to north across Delmarva. It's been a long time since the radar has shown this much rain on it. And within the heavier bands of rain, we've been tracking some higher wind gusts so far this evening. You're looking at Georgetown now, over to Bridgeville, Seaford, and back over to Ocean View and Selbyville, excuse me. Showers break up just a bit, but still pockets of heavy rain down to the south through Pocomoke City and even in Accomack County over toward Bloxham and Chincoteague. And these are the areas that are seeing the highest wind gusts so far, although the breezes have been very high even up the coast through the Delaware beaches. Gale warnings for pretty much all of our waterways, wind advisories. Those go through about 4 o'clock in the morning when I do expect the winds to back off a bit. And a coastal flood advisory out for much of Delaware and for Accomack County. So a lot to talk about tracking in. I'm going to have my full forecast coming up here a little bit later on here on DSI. But right now, back to you, Brandon and Devin.
All right, thanks, Rich. We'll be checking back in with our chief throughout the night, but first, let's get to the action now as Y-High on the road against Kent Island tonight for our game of the week.
Yeah, Brandon, the Tribe looking to get back in the win column after what happened last weekend and after dropping their last game against Decatur. So let's just go straight to those highlights. You see, they were down 14-0 early, and Casey Heath is going to make matters worse. He crosses the goal line for 6, to put the Bucks up 3 scores. But if you don't know Y-High, you know they're not going to go down without a fight.
Nope.
Now, third quarter, Darius Foreman is going to break free, and Kent Island's not catching him. He takes it to the house for an over 60-yard run. Y-High finally puts themselves on the board, and the Tribe at the goal line, and Foreman wants another one. And here his own line opens it up, and Foreman finds 6 for the end zone. Y-High now within 1 score of tying this one up.
All right, late in the fourth now we go. 4th and 10 for Y-High. They're running out of time to tie it up. Foreman going to air it out. Downfield is Malik Leatherbury, and Malik open, but the ball goes through his hands. Drops what would have been a game-tying touchdown. Heartbreak for the Tribe, and KI would capitalize. Casey Heath is going to get the ball once again. Fights through the Tribe to get it in for the score as Kent Island up 28-13. And that would be the final nail in the coffin as the Bucks go on to win. Final score of 28-13. Hey, let's check in on what we were saying about the Tribe 1 week ago today.
These are just good just a week ago. I got the Tribe winning this one. I think they've shown so far that they're just head and shoulders above everyone else in the Bayside. I mean, they haven't been challenged at all.
But I think this is going to be a great matchup. The Tribe head and shoulders above the rest is what we've been saying.
Right.
And I've got the Tribe winning by about 10 points or so.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. So we're on the same page. That's all that
exactly. Yeah, we're on the same page there.
Yeah.
What happened?
On the same page of being wrong. That's
Oh, man, that hurts to watch back.
Oh,
man,
man,
you know, we got to hold ourselves accountable.
Yeah,
you know,
we have
when we
to.
proclaim somebody a champion and then they go out and lose twice in the same week.
Especially only in week 3. They only played 3 games up to this point. We're like, yeah, we had it so right. We know better than everyone else, but sometimes we can't be right all the time. Sometimes you're shooting your score, sometimes it's just a straight air ball. And just, Brandon, how things can change so quickly in one short week. I mean, a week ago, Y-High was on top of the mountain, and then just in their last 2 games, one on Saturday and one today, Y-High was beginning to separate themselves. But the rest of the Bayside, Brandon, said, don't forget about us. We can play with these boys definitely. Kent Island showed that they can. Decatur showed that they could. I mean, last week I did mention, we were wrong in how we were talking about Y High, but I was right in the sense that I was talking about like the Belks were a team to be on the lookout for, and they showed that today. I mean, they've racked up an impressive winning streak after their season opening loss to Easton.
Yeah, and the thing about Kent Island is let's throw out week 1 and that loss to Easton.
Yep.
I know that they lost to the Easton Warriors, but I got to say, I think Kent Island might be the best team in the entire Bayside right now if we're looking at what they did against Decatur, going down to Berlin, and then tonight against Y High. But one thing to mention, we've noticed Malik Leatherbury has had some problems with that hammy the last 2 weeks.
And that might be an answer for why Y High's had some different troubles on offense.
Yeah, exactly. Totally different offense with Malik Leatherbury not at 100%. All right, let's move on now to another game from up in the Bayside North. We're talking about those Easton Warriors, a great rivalry game against North Carolina. Could the Warriors beat the Bulldogs at home was the question. Easton up 14-7. Nasai Bell finding Zamir Smith for the score. And we're all tied up at 14 all. North Carolina trying to keep the momentum going, but Abraham Dale eats up this run in the backfield for a loss of yards and to make it a quick 3 and out. Kevin O'Connor looking downfield doesn't realize that Max Derner is there and he gets the sack. And that's a 3 and out for Easton. But the Warriors would break free here. O'Connor takes it himself, slips some tackles, finds an open lane. That man's going to Duke, and you can see the athleticism from O'Connor. He is incredible. Easton takes a 21-14 lead. North Carolina would keep fighting, though, but it would not be enough as they drop it against the Warriors. Final score of 33-20.
Now to the early game today between Bennett and Queen Anne's. Give the Clippers student section some credit. They were out in force today.
They always
came
are.
out to see the best running back in the conference, KJ Smothers. The man is a machine. Queen Anne's had plenty of weapons, including Ashton Seawold. Seawold on the return. You see him right here. He gets some space, good blocking in front, and there he goes. He makes a man miss. Queen Anne's goes up 24-0 in a blink of the eye. Bennett salvaged a first-half touchdown, but they couldn't get much going against the Lions' defensive front. And let's polish off these highlights with a catch and run about 65 yards from Seawold. You're going to see this shortly. You see the monster defense by Queen Anne's, though. And they just came down to Salisbury and took care of business. I mean, 46-6, not that much suspense, but look at the speed right there by the Lions.
And KJ Smothers, another 3 touchdowns today for him. Now out to Berlin from last night. Parkside and Decatur locking horns. Decatur up a couple of scores, looking to put things away. But, okay, let's start with Parkside going down the field. Luke Mazziarello is going to score on 4th and goal right here. And Decatur was up 21-0 going into halftime. Parkside comes out with a response to make it 21-7. But Decatur, they came right back on the next drive. Here goes Bryson Coleman. We saw him burn the Y-High defense with his legs. And then watch Coleman. He's looking for his top target, Luke Murgott, also going to Duke. And watch it. Watch the footwork. Putting the man on skates.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pointing it to the crowd.
Pointing
making
to
sure
the
crowd
folks,
sees it.
Pointing to you folks at home. Luke Murgott getting it done. The Decatur defense was great in this one. Final score, Decatur wins 28-7, and the Seahawks are 4-1.
Now let's move to the Colonels. They were hosting Arcadia, and this was dominated by the home team. Here's Cameron Gondak. The ball does not lie. That's 6 points.
Ball does not lie, sir.
He said he's going to score every time. The defense was dominant as well. They allowed just 6 points all night yesterday. Braden Dad's making quick work of that Firebirds offensive line for the sack. The Colonels had the game at hand. When they get the big man involved, senior center, Will Thomas muscling his way into the end zone.
That's
you
great.
See, look at the flexion
Show
right
off
there.
the gun, sir.
Oh, my God, the gun show
Yes.
right there. Colonels win 45-6.
That's fun. That's great. All right, down in Snow Hill now. The Eagles hosting Nandua last night. Warriors set the tone for this one early. Watch as the Eagle running back gets the toss. Here's Nazir Blake straight up snatching the ball away from the back and returns it to the red zone. That's a top play nominee right there. Check out the arm on Isaac Stodgill. Oh, no, hold on. We're going to finish off the drive right here with a touchdown for Nandua. Here's Stodgill. Perfect pass down the sidelines for Jason Yee to the 30, to the 20, and down at the 1. Nandua was great in this one. and they would go on to win by a final score of 35-0.
Wow, yeah, that was a blowout right there. And one more game to get to, Cambridge, South Dorchester. They won over Kent County 16-6. Now, this is kind of surprising to see the Vikings win just by 2 scores. I mean, Kent County has really struggled this year.
They have struggled, and Cambridge South Dorchester has a couple of really nice wins. So I was kind of surprised they only won by 10 points, but you got to go all the way up to Wharton to get that win.
Absolutely. And I mean, now, Brandon, we've had a lot of Bayside competition. Obviously, we talked about the Tribe earlier on, and then we also talked about the Bucks. There's the Warriors, the Lions. We've seen a lot of different teams. What's a team that stands out to you so far?
Man, the Bayside has been so much fun this year because all these teams are beating up on each other, but Easton continues to impress me. I mean, last year they go 3-6. This year they're already 4-1. So, you know, they're facing a really well-coached team in North Carolina. They're always well-coached, and they're able to take care of business today. Hats off to Easton. Matt Griffith back with the Eastern Warriors, and he's able to get his 4th win on the season today, more than they had last year. Great job by Easton so far.
Yeah, and I know when I talked to Coach Griffin and the coaching staff before the season, one of the things that they mentioned they wanted to do was kind of break down everything from the start and rebuild everything from scratch.
Building from the foundation.
And it's worked so far. And again, that's why I have to agree and double down on your Easton praise. I mean, they now have a large enough sample size to show that they're definitely a different team than they were last season, and they're in the conversation to be a top 3 team across the Bayside. It's really hard to tell who you might have in your top 3 compared to
who
whoever.
Who are you taking out? High, Decatur, or Kent Island?
I might see, and again, it's really hard to answer that question, but I think they deserve to be in that conversation with all of them. I mean, the Bucks have shown themselves to be a Bayside contender, and the Warriors have to be considered in that top echelon of teams as well.
Yeah, I agree. All right, that'll do it for the A block. We're taking a commercial break, but we are moving on over to the 302. We got a couple of upsets in Sussex County, plus a heavyweight bout taking place in Smyrna. Don't want to miss it. DSI returns right after this.
Hello, this is Toby Peer. I'm the head football coach at Cambridge South Dorchester High School. You're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.